Good evening, guys. Good evening. This is Juju, and I'm coming to you live this evening from my kitchen. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to Let's Talk. And of course, you know that Let's Talk is my weekly show where we discuss things that are impacting the black community, and we discuss things all across the spectrum. So, if there's a topic that you're interested in and you would like to discuss it, let us know. If we haven't already discussed it, we'll try to get it in. And if we have already discussed it, you may have an interesting perspective that did not consider. And so we may have to go back and um, revisit that topic. So, thank you guys for joining us this evening. As you come in, I always like to ask you to like and share the video. Like and share the video. I also always like to ask you to tag your friends and to say hello to me. Tag your friends, let me know you're on the video. Say hello to me. Hello, Miss Annie Jones. How are you doing? Let me see if we can get you in here. And then that way we will have you in when we get ready to get started. Um, so it's adding you, Miss Jones. Uh, Oh, and Miss Gentry is watching. Thank you for joining us, Gentry. Thank you so much. How is Princess Gia? I saw all of you all's adventure on the Disney cruise, and I just loved every second of it. I really did. Hello, Miss Shantarsha Lawrence, and Miss Gentry just popped up there. How are you ladies doing this evening? Thank you guys so much for joining me. It is steady saying it's adding you, Miss Annie. Is it asking you to accept my invitation? Because I sent a request to add you. Let me see. It says connection failed. Let me try it again. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, so I don't see you in my audience. Um, Annie is say down at the bottom of your screen, it should be a little icon, look like one man and then another person in the box. Press that icon and ask to be added. Let's see if we can get you in that way, please, ma'am. Also, if you have anything else on, if you have your computer on, turn that off until you get into the live. Okay, it says Annie wants to join. Let us accept her request and let us try to add her in that way. So, oh, okay. There you go. Of course, I can't see your face. I don't know what I got going on, but I know you're there. Because
Can you hear me?
my phone is doing everything crazy. How are you doing today, Mrs. Jones?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much
Okay.
for joining me, and hopefully Miss Jackson will come on in real quick like and we can get this party started. Now I see I can see you now on my other phone. It's
I
crazy.
can see you.
It's crazy. I don't know what be going on. I have to figure that out. That's one thing I have to figure out. I have to get one of these kids. They know more about these phones than we do, and I may, have to have a different phone. You can never tell about how this stuff be carrying on. But I'm so excited to have an opportunity to talk to you. Anybody who knows me knows I always refer to you as my shero. You one of my sheroes.
Thank
You
you.
and Gentry. Because y'all be doing it. Y'all be doing it. And I tell Gentry, I know who your mama is. Felicia might look just like you. But Gentry Gentry got that fire. She got that Annie Jones fire inside of her. I said, oh yeah, this definitely Annie child right here. This is definitely Mrs. Jones child right here. But I love the way Gentry parents her kids. She's an awesome mom. So yeah. So I'm so excited to talk to you I'm adding Mr. Jones. I'm adding Mr. Jackson. I don't know
I
why
see
I
you,
call you
Juju.
Mr. Jones and I call him Mr. Jackson. Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
don't know how y'all earn them titles.
Uh-oh. Let's get some respect in the
But
room.
y'all earn those titles. Yes, y'all earned y'all titles, Mrs. Jones and Mr. Jackson.
We got to have some
Mm-hmm.
respect in the room. Ain't that right, Mr. Jackson?
You and you and Mr. Jackson have earned y'all titles. I swear, because y'all are two of those people who I know I can depend on.
Amen.
Um, Mr. Jackson, go on and request to be added because you didn't answer me. So go ahead and request to be added. But anyway, in the meantime, let me see. Um, in the meantime, let us go ahead and get started. And welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. I am your host. I am Juju, and I'm coming to you live this evening from my kitchen. Let's Talk is produced by my dear brother and great friend, Mr. Jerry Jackson. As I say, Mr. Jackson always has my back. I get him and my sisters in more mess. They probably think, Lord have mercy, this could keep us in the middle of doing something. But anyway, there is much to talk about this evening, so we're going to get right to it. But first, I need to remind everyone that this is not intended to be a news show, but we do try our best to steer clear of gossip and things that are knowingly untrue. And as always, I hope that you guys find this a safe place where you feel comfortable asking your questions and sharing your opinions. Um, and all that being said, let us talk. And so tonight we're talking about overcoming economic inequities. And this is the Annie Jones story. And there's more than one way, of course, to skin a cat. So there's more than one way to overcome economic inequities. But this is Annie's story. So I'm excited to hear it. The percentage of children born into poverty varies significantly by race and ethnicity. And for Black children, about 17.8% of all Black children are born into poverty. That is in comparison to 11.2% of white children and 9.9% of Asian children. So anyway, children born into poverty face a multitude of disadvantages that can have lasting impact on their development and their future. These disadvantages can include health issues. They're more likely to experience health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, things like that that can reduce their life expectancy. They also have educational disparities. A lot of times the schools that they attend are underfunded and have limited resources, and it creates a great disparity in education. They oftentimes have behavioral problems, social and emotional development. Poverty can hinder healthy physical growth and development. It can affect your social and emotional development as well, and they're more likely to experience violence. And then they also have more likely to experience mental health issues. And oftentimes they have sense of hopelessness, which sometimes leads to suicide and depression and things of that nature. And statistics show that just 16% of children who grow up in poverty manage to become economically successful adults. And so the statistics highlight the significant challenges that children often face when they are born into poverty. Our guest tonight, though, is one of the ones. One of the ones. Let's see if we can get Mr. Jackson in here. Um, and so we're excited to hear Miss Annie's story. Although she was born into poverty, she was destined not to stay there, okay? With hard work and determination, not only did she lift herself out of poverty, but she brought her entire family with her. Guys, help me welcome to the show my dear friend, my former co-worker, Mrs. Annie Jones. And I'll tell you guys, when I first met Annie, she and I were both working at Kmart. And then we also worked together at Lee County Department of Human Resources. And both of those seemed like a lifetime ago. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, Jake, I hear you. But anyway, so Mrs. Jones, can you first of all tell us just a little bit about yourself? Tell us about yourself.
I can tell you, but you have to tell me what you want to know because this could get deep. Where you want to start at?
Well, first of all, just tell me about your family. Just tell me about your family.
And I'm Annie Jones, and I was born into poverty, but I didn't stay there. I first had my first child, Gentry, at 15 and a half years old. And so instead of letting that keep me from prospering, it made me grind even harder because she became my life. I had to put my life on hold in order to take care of my daughter. She came first.
Okay. And
I know you. Go ahead.
I know you told me one time that you dropped out of high school to take care of Gentry, and I told you, no, you didn't drop out. You just took a sabbatical.
Yeah, now about to get to that.
Okay.
You can't drop out of school legally until you're 16 years old. So after a little run-in of babysitting issues, and I knew I had to be the one to raise my child, I went to the school to withdraw myself, and they told me you can't do that until you're 16. So I told her then, and that's just how fast I had to grow up because I started raising kids at 6. So I was able to communicate. What were they then? Counselors. That I needed to drop out of school in order to raise my child because I felt like I didn't have a car. I didn't have daycare funds. I didn't have a job. So I needed to put Gentry first. And so I went over there, got a ride over there, told them I need to withdraw myself. They told me I couldn't. I told them either they let me withdraw or I'll quit and the chips can fall where they may. So the lady put the paper in front of my hands and I signed to withdraw myself from school. And I took care of Gentry.
Okay. All right, then.
So it's not
now,
where you from. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now okay, so you tell us about your younger years.
Well, after having 3 children, and I knew I had Felicia and Adam also to support, it made me grind even harder. But at that point, I'm to the point now I have 3 kids. When you grow up around certain generations or certain people, and you look around and say, I don't want to be like that, or I don't want my kids to have to live like this, it makes you grind. Well, it made me grind even harder because now I have 3 little ones to take care of.
Right.
I can remember at 17, I think I had Adam by then. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I was still 15 with Gentry. And I lied to the restaurant and told them I was 16 in order to get a job, take care of her.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so I did what was necessary to take care of my kids. By the time I had
Okay.
Felicia, I knew it was time for a change. I couldn't keep having children by the same person that wasn't going anywhere. So at that age, I had to make some decisions to put my family first. My family will
Okay.
always come first.
Okay.
So talking about that, I also have to let you know that although I was taking care of 3 kids, I also had 2 parents I had to take care of. They
Right.
they couldn't read, they couldn't write. So I took on that role. At 12, I was
Right.
writing the withdrawal slips. I knew how to fill out a check. So
Right.
I was trying to help them do that. So if I always had that caring ability, I
Right.
was forced into it, but I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, right. And I, like I told you when we were talking yesterday, I said when I met you in Kmart,
Mm-hmm.
you were the single mom
Yeah.
with the 3
Yes.
kids, but you were
Yes.
the same person. You had the same generous spirit. You were
Mm-hmm.
willing to give if you wasn't giving anything but some homemade, ooh, I need some, and homemade lasagna. You had you were giving something,
Yes.
and you have not changed. You are that same person, and that's one reason why I just love you so much, because you remain that same person. And what made you decide, okay, so at what point did you decide, okay, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to get my education so I can improve life for me and my kids?
Well, right before I got married, I decided that I would get my GED. And the thing I
Okay.
told my kids had made it to high school by then. So I told them,
Okay.
I said, look, in order for me to force you all to get an application, not force, but encourage you all to get an education, you all can do and be all you can be, I'm going to go get my GED to inspire you.
Right.
So I did that. I got my GED and I taught before they finished high school, and I did that. And so
Okay.
after that, I went to Southern Union State Community College, got a associate degree, and then I went on to Troy and got a bachelor's degree in business as
Okay.
well.
Okay. A bachelor's in business. All right. Then, so from the time you had Gentry to the time you got your GED, that was like from the time you dropped out to the time you got your GED, that was like what, 15 years or so? What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, not quite 15 years, because by the time I was 27, I had Quenisha. So it wasn't.
Okay.
It was, let's see, mm, maybe, I can't remember. That so long ago.
Okay. 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 All right then. So
I probably
so now
was about 24.
okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Ms. Jones, tell
Mm-hmm.
me what made you want to go into business for yourself? What made you decide that that was what you wanted to do?
It wasn't because of the college degrees. I could have did this without and saved some money.
Oh,
But after so many jobs, and sometimes when we're on these journeys, we don't know exactly what God has or putting us through, or
right.
why He's putting us through. But
Right.
every job now that I look back was an encouragement to do what I'm
Okay.
meant to do here on earth. Every job, I'm like, oh my God, I was a year here, a year there. I think I stayed at Kmart longer, and I stayed at a home health agency about 4.5 years. But every other job that I had, it was a year here, a year there. You can work hard as you want to work, but people still want you to do even more. And then you got the ones that does cigarette breaks that they don't say anything to, or stand in the corner all day, but you go and work your butt off and you got no respect for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's encouraging for me to actually, hey, you got to find something different. You got to do something different. And so now I look
Okay.
back and say, thank you, God.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because all things do work together for our good. Let me take a pause right now and ask Mr. Jackson. Do we have any comments or questions so far, Mr. Jackson?
Hey, good evening. No, we do not. I just wanted to just chime in and say, Annie, your story is so encouraging and so inspiring. You have and you will be able to encourage so many others to get up and move because
Thank
in what you
you.
shared, we have no excuses. We have no excuses. At your age, you were doing the things that many of us didn't even do at 25. So kudos to you, congratulations, and keep up the good work. But there are no questions as of now.
Okay, all righty. So, when you first decided to step out there and start your own business, were you afraid?
No, not really. I've never been a coward type person. Um,
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
I've never been afraid to do anything, and I used to always tell my kids they can be anything they wanted to be. I don't care what it was. If they told me they wanted to be a doctor, I cheered them on. You can do that. If they told me they
okay,
wanted to fly a plane, you can do that. I've always been an encouraging
okay,
person, and they tell
okay.
you, you put your mind to it, you can do it. Don't ever, and I used to tell
And
them, don't ever allow anyone to define your destiny. You can
mm,
be
okay.
whatever
What?
you want to be.
And, and that is one thing that I think we as a people definitely need to start doing more of, encouraging our kids to think big. You don't have to think small. And when we were coming up, our parents didn't have a lot of material goods, and so everybody was struggling to get through, and to go to school or whatever, and to even just to get a BS degree was such a financial strain. I look at my mom and dad, and I don't know how in the heck they did it. My father was a custodian, and my mom worked as a kindergarten teacher. And
Mhm.
how you send four kids, it was four of us in college at the same time, how
Oh
you
wow.
juggle that. Yeah, me, my Joyce and Althea and Jasper, all of us at one point, all of us were in school at the same time. So, back then it wasn't a whole lot that parents have to give. Now we have a little bit more that we can give our kids, and I tell Jordan all the time, baby, the sky's the limit. Right now you don't have any worries because I got you housing, I got your car, I got your food. I don't buy them clothes because I don't want them clothes. But anyway, but all the other stuff, all you have to do is go out and live your dream.
Yes.
So, yeah, so we need to encourage our kids to live their dream and to dream big. Don't dream small. Don't think small. Start your
Right.
business. Get your advanced degree. Like you said, be that doctor, be that nurse practitioner, be that physical therapist, be all that you can be. Okay, so what was your first business venture, and when did you start that? What year did you first venture into business, and what was that business venture?
I can't remember the year, but I think maybe I was about 35. I opened a little mom and pop store in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Okay,
I kept it
okay.
I kept it open for about 3 years. Um, and it was
I
funny
had
because
forgot
Nisha used to
about
go
the
to the
store,
store.
Annie. I
Yeah,
forgot that.
yes. I wasn't afraid to do nothing.
Okay. I had
And so
forgotten that.
yeah, yeah, kids was in college. I can recall a couple of things that and you're gonna hear me speak about Nisha because I'll never not speak about her. But
Right.
she was like 7 or 8 years old, and someone came into the store with I think it was a $20 bill, and boy, she put that marker on there and said, "Mama," I said, "What?" My it's fake. She had a counterfeiter. She
She
was so
said
excited and so excited. It's fake, Mama. Gentry came over there one day and she was like 9 months pregnant. It was a deer beside the road. And Lord, I was like, oh my God, I got to call somebody. I'm not going to put my hand on that deer. I'm afraid of animals. And Gentry just got some gloves. I'm like, give me something. And she pulled that big old heavy thing out from the road. I was like, oh my God, girl, you just brave. So those are just good memories that was created. But that was my first big venture.
Okay. Okay. All righty then. And then so I think most of the audience. And okay, so that was your first venture. You said lasted 3 years. So what happened with the store? We'll just ask that question.
I was pretty trying to work at the time. I was at Kroger, so I was working trying to maintain the store too. But then
Okay.
sometimes you can hire the wrong people, and they was taking things, and so I couldn't just be right there and work full time trying to manage the store. But when I
Okay.
sold
Okay.
it, I actually about broke even. So that's what happened.
Okay.
I was thankful to break even.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's great, and that's a great thing to know too, because if you try something and that don't necessarily work out for you, try something else, right?
Exactly. Because what you don't want is a business to drain you knowing that you can't swim. If you're drowning, get out.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Try again.
Okay. Well,
It's like riding a bike. You might fall, but get up and try again.
try again. Okay. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful for all of us who are thinking, we're doing different things that, okay, this might not have worked out,
Exactly.
but okay, so but I'm gonna keep on sucking till as my mom would say, till I do succeed.
Right.
So
See, that's the
anyway.
problem. People don't want to be looked at as failure. I
Mhm.
failed at this business. So what? We're not talking about them. We're talking about you and your profits margin that you may or may not be making. If you're not making it, change up. Don't worry about what people are saying.
Right.
Go into something that you can be successful in. Quit feeding a drowning business.
Okay. Okay. Don't keep pouring money into
No,
a business that's not
that's
being
failure.
profitable. Okay.
Right. It's
Okay.
no,
Okay.
one thing I know how to do is make money.
Okay. Well, yes, ma'am. And so I think most of my audience probably knows about Paradise Tiny Village because I highlight that uh, business every opportunity I get because I love the space, I love the idea, and so I also love that you and Gentry and your grind, and so I just think it's a beautiful place, and so I highlight that every chance you get. But that's not the only property that you own, and that's not your only business venture. So tell us about your other business ventures and how you got started with those.
Well, let me swing back because you brought up Paradise Tiny Village now, so I have to give credit where credit due. That
Okay,
business was created by me, Gentry, and Quenisha. And the day
Felicia.
that we were supposed to open, she actually got killed that day. So
Okay, that was your opening day.
it
Okay.
was our
Okay.
opening day, yes. Well, not the actual day that she got killed, but probably the day before. But anyway,
Okay.
but that's a business that we sat down and created because Gentry, of course, had Gia, and Gia has disabilities. So
Mm-hmm.
we was trying to see what she could do to stay at home and give Gia more
Okay.
attention. And so in one night, we came up with that. Quenisha came up with the names.
Okay.
Gentry came up with the drawings. And of course, I was the financial person behind it. But whatever my kids want, I try to encourage them to do it, and I'm going to support them as long as it's not selling. Or as long as they can make it make sense, we can do it.
Okay.
I can help them. That was the first,
Wait a minute.
not the first
Okay.
business, but that was our joint venture together.
Right.
So my businesses are rental properties. I have 3 parks. I have multiple properties in Lee County, Russell County, and Chambers County. So I have 3 different locations, and I have a part in every county except Russell right now.
Okay.
Who knows where that may go? and I've also done a few flips.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So you moved into the real estate business. So what made you go into real estate? Wait a minute, I lost your volume, Ms. Jones.
She's disconnected.
Oh, she's disconnected. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully she'll come back and finish talking to us because, like I said, guys, this is just a powerful thing. And you know, the month of June, we're talking about hope, and uh, people and I told you guys before that I wanted to talk about hope because when we were talking to Jordan and she was telling us so many young people are hopeless, they have a feeling of hopelessness, and we want to be able to encourage them, and the best way to do that is by your testimony, and so if they can see, say, I was in this very same situation, but God, but because of God, I'm able to uh, overcome that situation. It took some time, like Annie said, okay, this business wasn't working out for me, so I got to try something else, so it took some time. I may have not been as successful as I was, but I didn't give up. I kept on moving, I kept on trying, I kept on trusting and kept on working. And so that's what I want someone who may be in her same position that she was back when she was young, and they may be 16 and 17 now and have kids and think their life is over, but that's not the case. So go ahead, Mrs. Jones, tell us how you decided that you wanted to get into real estate.
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, that wasn't a hard decision. I bought my first mobile home. Um, that's how I started.
Mhm.
So it was so raggedy. When I tell you it was raggedy, they thought it would fall apart coming up the street.
Really?
But at that time again, I was trying to get away. At this point, I was trying to get away from Kroger's because the
Okay.
hours were ridiculous. And so I saw this mobile home, and the guy sold it to me for I think like $800.
Okay.
So, and I remember Catherine Williams was with me.
So,
She would not even go inside the thing. So I was like, you got to see the potential. I always try to see the best in everything. So she was like, I'm not going in there. I said, well, I'll go. You just stay here. I walked through that thing and I said, okay, I'll take it. I had that thing moved to Hickory Haven. It is still standing just as strong, but I went inside and I did it. I recreated that thing, rebuilt the inside and out.
oh,
And the first
okay.
person I showed it
Was
to rented it.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Catherine wouldn't go in with you, huh?
No, no, man. She still talk about that to this day.
Now you know if girl if your best friend won't go in there with you, cause you know the best friend will go anywhere with
Yeah, she went right out or die with me on that one.
you. Oh, okay. All righty
So
then.
after a few years later, it's probably about I was in it probably about 6 years, I do believe. Then she got into it because I had kept trying to tell her you need to do that. Oh no, I don't think I want to do that. Now she loves it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
I drug her along with me.
And that's another thing that you guys I like about Annie because she'll call me and say, "Well, gee, I was thinking," and she's probably the reason I do Let's Talk because she said, "I was thinking you should be doing something." She told me on TikTok, "You should be doing something on TikTok." And I'm like, what am I gonna do on TikTok? She said, well, you know, they got people on there that just be sitting there talking, they be crocheting and stuff, people be watching them and they get paid for doing that, and you can do that. And so that is really what birth Let's Talk. I was like, okay, well, let me think about this, and that's what birth. So she don't be trying to keep her knowledge or her whatever to herself. She tries to share the wealth, actually. So
I do.
that's another thing I appreciate about her. Um, and so
One thing about it, though, it's enough out here for everybody. It's enough money to be made for everybody to get in on something. So there's
that
no reason that we should be keeping things secret, like only one person could make the money. It's enough
right.
money to share ideas.
Right, and no need for us to feel like we got to be in competition with each other. We can support
Right.
each other. So so tell me, you mentioned your baby, Quenisha, and so I
Mhm.
want to stop and give you an opportunity to tell us about Quenisha. I, I know she was your baby.
Yeah, she came 8 years after Felicia, so it was like, oops, here come another one. But I was so happy. She was so loving and caring and giving just like her mama. And I think some people probably took advantage of her little sweet soul, but that's okay. That's for them. But Quenisha would also do anything for anybody. She did not care. She was going to do it. And she loved herself some Jared. They were supposed to get married, and a month before she got married, she ended up having a bad car accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like to speak on that just a little bit in memory of her. She was
Mm-hmm.
a loving daughter,
Yeah.
and I miss her so much every second of the day.
I know you do that, and I know that sometimes it's hard, but that's another thing I love. You keep moving, and you tell me, well, I got to keep moving. That's what Kanisha would want, and sometimes I feel like I can feel her telling me, "Mama, get up." Uh,
Oh
and
yeah,
and so yeah, so yeah, we our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers stay, I continue to pray with you, pray for you and with you all the time, because I
thank you.
know what I think it was about, when was it that Gentry had a car accident? And I was like, oh Lord, let me call Annie because I know her mind is all over the place. Let me check on my friend because I know she going crazy right here at this moment.
Yeah,
And you said,
yes, you did call me, and I really appreciate you reaching out. I think you may have been the only phone call I got, but I think I had called Catherine, and she was like, "Please don't go up there flying." So you all was very
mm-hmm,
encouraging, and I really appreciated that. But I had to get to my daughter.
right, right. Oh, okay. And so, and I know, Annie, you and I go way back, and so you're not a bragging person, but I want you to take a moment though, and because I said when you pull yourself out of poverty, you didn't just not think about your family, you did the whole family. Brag on your kids for just a minute.
But let me take it back though, because I want to tell people that I was on welfare with Gentry, and I
Okay.
received welfare, I received food stamps, and I received Section 8 for a short period of time. I received food stamps a long time though, because I had to feed my kids.
Okay.
And so as long as I was under that income, that guideline income, I was going to continue to get those and feed my kids.
Okay.
But as far as the what they called it back then, welfare check, it was $88 a month. I sat down and calculated that at 15, 16 years old. I said, that's $22 a week. I know damn well I can make more money than that. They can have that. So
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I kicked that back to the curb. I was appreciative, but it wasn't enough money for me and Gentry.
Okay.
So I did anything that I had to do to take care of me and my children.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to when my brother and I, Timothy, we used to get on bicycles with a rate. That's why I can't understand why people are so lazy. Me and my brother was like 10 and 12 years old. We used to get on a bicycle with a rate. He would go to the door because I was a little shy. Believe it or not,
I
he
feel
would go
like
to the door and
shy.
ask, believe it or not, Believe it or not, I know it's hard, but I was a little shy at that time, because I was picked on when I was coming up, so I was shy. But the thing about being picked on, you could pick at me as long as you didn't touch me. So we was good there. I was a bully and stuff. But anyway, I was a little shy. So he would knock on the door and say, "Can we rake your yard?" And they'll see two little kids, little black girl, little black boy, and they'll say, "Oh, how sweet. How much y'all want?" And he'll come to me, and I was the money head there.
Okay.
I would choose cycles. So he comes to me and he'll say, she said, "How much you charge?" I said, "You tell her $50." And you know, $50 was a lot of money back then. He'll go back and say $50. And they say, "Okay, go ahead." Well, we raked that yard in no time. I did most of the work, but I didn't care because I wanted to earn me some cash.
Okay.
So that's all when I was like, yes.
And the
We used to go. It was
that I like,
on the bottom go.
but the thing I like about that, Annie, you weren't afraid to ask for what you wanted and ask
No,
for what it was worth. And
absolutely not. I knew I was going to rake that yard because there wasn't a leaf on the ground. I had started out at like 6 years old going to help my parents when my dad used to go out and rake yards. I've been raking yards and working a long time. I know what work looked like, and I'm not afraid of it.
And so that's another thing, because we sometimes now, even as adults, well, I know I do. Sometimes now I say, "Oh, I don't want to ask nobody for this kind of money," but you know what the product that you're producing, you're giving, and you know what the worth is. And so my sister Joyce has told me, "No, stop short-changing yourself. You put so much into those crochet items. They take so long to make. If somebody don't want it, they don't want it. They don't have to have it. It's somebody else that will pay for it." So so I appreciate that fact that you know your worth. But now I want you to brag on the kids. You started haven't got that for us, didn't you? But no, ma'am, I want you to brag on your kids
You
for
know, I'm
just a
not into
second.
bragging. I'm not
I
into
know
bragging
it.
now.
I know it. I know it.
One more thing, and then I will, because this has something to do with my children. So when my children got about maybe 10 or 12 years old, I wanted to teach them the value of $1. And I don't know if Gentry's still on here or Felicia, but I don't know if they even remember. I got them in a car. I said, instead of expecting someone to give you $1, let me teach you how to make one. We
Okay.
went over there on the north side of the town in Opelika, in the white people neighborhood. Just gonna put it out there. And we went with a rake, and I made them knock on that door and ask them people if they can rake their yard. And they made money doing that. I didn't need it, but they needed to know what it looks like trying to earn your own dollar.
Okay.
And so they raked that yard. I made sure it was straight, and I said, "Now that's how you make $1." I said, "Don't you ever get out here and expect for nobody to give you anything. You can get out here and make $1."
Okay.
You may not want to do it that way, but this is a what you call it? An honest way to make a living.
Honest hustle, yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. And I'm all about an honest hustle.
All about an honest dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
after growing up and raising my kids, getting married, met my husband. We will be married 32 years in July.
Okay.
My children are grown. They are very successful. And I continue to do this, not for me, but for them, because I'm at a point now that I am doing a will, but I also have to do a trust because I have so much stuff. And so instead of leaving it to my children are already successful enough. They all have their degrees. Although I'm leaving them something, don't get me wrong, everybody gonna get a slice of this pie. My grandchildren will also inherit something from me. So getting the generational wealth towards a couple of generations.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay. And that is awesome, from welfare to a point where you can have a trust where you give something, have something to give to your children and your children's children. And
right.
and that is awesome. And Annie won't tell y'all, but Gentry is a doctor, right?
Gentry has a doctorate degree in
In
physical therapy.
physical
Felicia
therapy.
has, yes.
And
Felicia has, and Felicia, if you're on here, you can correct me. Felicia has a doctorate degree in nurse practitioner in pediatrics.
okay.
And Adam is out of the out on, let's see, Adam is on medical leave from the military. Well, he's out now. He came out on medical leave, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Military, but he does work at Chattahoochee Valley. And then Quenisha had a degree before she passed away. And she was going to go back, but God had other plans.
Okay. And Felicia has her own business, right?
She does.
Gentry is with you in Tiny Village, but Felicia has her own medical business, right?
Gentry still works as a physical therapy full time.
Oh, okay.
And she does the Paradise Tiny Village.
Okay.
So yeah, she does all of that. And then Felicia has In and Out Pediatrics, where she will come to your home for the babies.
So she has the concierge pediatric. I just love that too.
Yeah, she comes to the home and she's got 5-star reviews. And I don't know how many reviews there are, but all of them are 5 stars. She's doing an excellent job in the community.
Okay. And she has a family business, right? You said her and her husband work together?
Yes, they both work. And she also, although she comes to the home, she also is located right next to CVS. In and Out Pediatrics. So there's an office. So you can make an appointment for the office, or she can come to your residence.
She can come to
either
your
way.
residence. That is awesome. And I know that people appreciate that concierge service, especially during times when kids are sick or something is going around, and people don't want to take their kids into the office and expose them to all kind of sickness, so they can just she can come to their house. So I know people really appreciate that. But that is awesome. And you have raised some beautiful kids.
Thank you.
And you have done an awesome job with that. It's one thing to get something for yourself. There's another thing to be able to pass that on, like you said, to your children and to your children's children. What was I going to ask you, Mr. Jackson? Did we have any questions or comments that we need to look at?
No, but I have a question for Miss Jones, if that's permissible.
Yes, sir.
So, Miss Jones, when you think of hope and your situation where you were and where you are now, what can you tell our viewers in light of there is hope?
There's always hope when there's always prayers. You have to put your prayers first.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing without God. Okay. There is nothing without God. And through God, all things are possible. Right. So pray. You have to step out on faith sometimes. As long as you got faith, you can do anything you want to do. Okay. There's hope.
Wow.
I agree with that. So what advice would you give someone who wants to start a business? Or want to get into real estate? Say I want to get into real estate, since that's mostly what you do. What would you tell me? What would be the first thing you would tell me I need to do?
Or you make sure you want to do it first. Are you sure? Mm-hmm. And then if you like, yes, I'm sure. I'm like, okay, do you have the capital? Okay. Can you get the capital? Okay. If the location you want to focus on, what is it in real estate that you want to do? Do you want to flip or do you want to rent? Okay. So there's several things that we would have to sit down and discuss to see which way you'd rather be, because the thing that I encountered when I was getting into real estate is that people were always telling me, oh, you don't want mobile homes, because I had bought a house right after the trailer, but it was like $18,000. So, hey, it was okay. But they were like, you don't want the mobile homes, you want the houses. I said, why do I want the houses? And my deceased brother actually got me into it, because he had houses in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
And so he was trying to tell me to get into housing. I said, why? When I can get a mobile home cheaper with the same income. And then him and another guy was like, well, you want the houses because in houses you build equity. Okay, my thing is, why do I need to build equity when I'm not going to take a loan against the house? That's for somebody who wants to take a loan out against the house. Everything I own, every piece of property that I own today, and no, I'm not bragging, but I'm going to put it out there, it's paid for. Everything I do, I pay cash. I don't care how much it is. I started at the bottom, now I'm here. So I know a little something when it comes to making money, when it comes to rental properties. I know something. I've been doing it a long time, over 20 years now.
Okay.
So like I told one person, I said, if you don't want to listen to me, there's no need of me wasting my breath. I'm not going to waste my time teaching nobody because what I do for free. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to persuade anybody to listen to me.
Okay. Okay.
I have to keep it moving.
Okay. All right, then. And Ms. John, we have enjoyed talking to you so much. I do have one final question. What would you say to a young single mother or father out there who's feeling hopeless? And I guess, yeah, if they're feeling hopeless, they may be a teenage mom or a teenage dad, or they may be, in their 20s or whatever, but they're out there and they're feeling hopeless. What would you say to them? What
I could
advice
say
would
just
you give
about,
them?
listen to this. I'm always, like you said, I'm a very caring person. So if there is someone out there that's 20, 25 and under, and they are a single parent, whether they are male or female, that needs encouraging, either one of those people can inbox me. I used to be a coach at the Lee County Department of Human Resources, and I think I did that job pretty well.
And
I don't know
Althea
everything.
always said you were the best family coach she ever had. She
So if
said
there's
that today.
thank you, Althea, Jane. But any one of those people that you all may know, if y'all want to refer somebody to me that may need a little help in trying to guide them, get them on the right track, any type of sound advice I could do, or if I could redirect them in another direction, I am here. I'm here. It's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And so you're
I only share my money. I share my knowledge as well.
and so your thing is we need to uplift one another.
We need to uplift one another. We need to take time to figure out what. Sometimes people will give you a clue that they're not doing so good. And the thing is, so many people are caught up within themselves, they're not listening. I have told so many people because I heard what they said, although they weren't intended for me to hear it. So I said, oh, wait a minute, you mentioned this. So what's going on with you? Some people like to talk it out just to be able to have that older person to give them a little advice. And we need to take time to start listening to these people and what they're saying, because a lot of people want their business in the street. So the thing is, they don't want to talk to you. But whether you're a man or a woman, we need to help these young people meet their goals. Listen to them, give them some sound advice. If you can't help them, redirect them to someone who can. Because I don't mind helping them.
And what you said about helping young people, it just really hit home to me today, because I was hearing about the young girl that was killed over at the
Yes.
alumni day last night. And we have to teach our kids how valuable their life is and how valuable the life of others is. Because
Well, that goes back to parenting as well. A lot of these people are scared of their kids, and it's just awful. We got to make time to raise our kids. We need a village again.
we need a village. It takes a village, and when we had a village, we were much better off than people trying to do it on your own. I know some people say I don't want a village raising my kid, but when we had the village, we who came up out
But
of
we
the
didn't
village was
say,
much better
we
off.
didn't say any type of village. We said a village, which means a safe environment
Mm-hmm.
to form that village.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
So
trustworthy
we don't need
people.
our kids
Right.
thinking about it. Right. Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard out here, and I would encourage any young person that wants to change their lives is to first look at your surroundings and see what's around you, see what you like or dislike about it, and we have to pray about it and make some changes. And stay within prayer, because prayer do change a thing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then reach out. Don't go to your girlfriend or their baby mama or somebody grandma that's who, oh, you can't do that. Stay away from negativity. You can do it
Okay.
if you put your mind to
Stay
it.
away from
You can do
negativity.
it if
All
you
right.
stay
Got
away from the negativity.
I got that, Mrs. Jones. That one was for me. Thank you. I got it. I got it.
You're welcome, Juju.
Now, and
Stay away.
I'll tell y'all this about Mrs. Jones. She's a serious businesswoman, but me and her could cut up so bad. Oh my goodness.
What you talking about? And while you bringing that up, it's long overdue. We got to get out.
We do need to get out. We do need to get out because we can cut up so bad. But anyway, thank you, Mrs. Jones, so much for coming on and sharing
Thank you
your
for having me.
story, for being so open and honest with us, because I know that somebody will hear your story and they will be encouraged by it. They'll be blessed by it. And they'll say, if she can do it, I can do it too. So thank you, Ms. Jones, for sharing your story. I love you so much. Thank you,
Love
Felicia
you too.
and
Thank you all for
Gigi,
having me.
for sharing your mom with us, and Adam for letting her come on here, and Mr. Jones. Don't let me forget Mr. Jones and Mr.
Okay
Jones
then.
for
Thank you,
allowing your
Juju.
wife
Y'all
to
have a
come
good
on and
night.
talk to us.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. But yes, Mrs. Jones, we do need to get together and laugh a little bit real soon. So, but thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it.
Thank
Um,
you everyone for joining in tonight. I really appreciate it. Anybody have any questions or want to inbox me, feel free. I'm always here to motivate anyone that comes across my path.
all right.
Well,
Thank you, dear. I
Annie,
love you.
before you
Yes,
go,
Mr.
Annie,
Uh-huh.
thank you. My niece was on here tonight, and I know that she is encouraged because she is an aspiring entrepreneur, and some of the things that you said will really help to encourage her. And I thank you so much for your words of wisdom. And I am going to refer her to reach out
Okay.
to you because she's young and she's eager about doing what she wants to do. She's got an idea. It may not be very innovative, but she's really wanting to do it. And I have told her I want to encourage her, but I think she needs to hear from you because the uncle sometimes advice can be taken for granted. But if she can hear it from someone that has started out such as you and you are very successful, it would be so good for her to speak to you. And I'm going to have her to reach out to you. And thank you for being so open and willing to help others for free.
Oh, yes.
Thank
Let me
you.
say this to all that's listening. I will help anybody, but if it don't make sense and you can't make a dollar, I'm not going to encourage it. So when you
Absolutely.
bring it to me, I'm going to give it to you straight. That's all I know how to do. I'm going to give it to you straight.
And, and,
But if I can
and
help
that's
you guide anyone, I'm going to do that.
and that's what you need to do. Give it to him straight. Straight, no chaser. But
Absolutely.
Straight.
Straight, no chaser. Get to it straight.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
yes, have her reach out to me and we'll see where she can go with that. And I probably can get her on the right path.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All
You're welcome.
righty. I'll talk to you later, Mr. Jones. I love you.
Love you too, y'all. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Uh, all right. So, Mr. Jackson, go ahead with our announcements for tonight, and we can get out of here on time this evening.
Absolutely. So our announcements are as follows. Next Sunday, the 15th of June, we're going to be talking about Juneteenth celebration, overcoming racial inequalities. On June the 22nd, there will be no show. We will be on vacation. On the 29th of June, we're going to have a surprise guest. We're going to have someone that's going to talk with us about overcoming substance abuse. Um, we also would like to know if you have anyone that you have in mind that would want to come out publicly and discuss how they have overcome substance abuse issues. Please reach out to Ardeen, Juju on Messenger, and we certainly would love to hear their testimony as well. And we continue to ask you to like and share the Let's Talk when you're on so that people can really hear some of these wonderful conversations that we're having, especially those like the Annie Jones story and the Jane and Jerry story. And anything that we've done in the past will always be uplifting. I want to really, really hone in on this. I know you've heard us talk about it many and many and many times, excuse me, but we're getting very close to our annual Juneteenth celebration. It's going to be on Saturday, June 28th of this month at the historic grounds of St. Luke AME Church. We really need your support. We are still looking for vendors, sponsors, and entertainment. And while I'm talking about this, our publicity chair, Adriel Vincent and Jasmine Hayes, you have done an outstanding job. You'll continue to see social media flooded with our advertisements concerning our Juneteenth celebration, which the theme is, it's a wonderful theme. Um, it's going to be talking about from chains to change, honoring freedom and embracing inclusion. And it's going to be on the 28th of June from 4 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. on the historic grounds of the St. Luke AME Church on Auburn Street in Opelika. If you are interested, please contact Julia, Joyce, Duchess, Thomas Vincent, or myself. We'll continue to flood your boxes, social media, and everything about the Juneteenth celebration. Joyce Thomas Vincent is our independent Mary Kay consultant. If you are looking for all of your Mary Kay needs, please continue to contact her. You can inbox her, and she's also on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. Please continue to subscribe to the Divinely Guided Podcast YouTube channel. It definitely is a wonderful mother daughter duo of Joyce Duchess Thomas and Adriel Vincent. And I'll post the link. Their podcast drops every Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And we will continue to ask that you subscribe to Juju's Dollhouse YouTube channel. You'll be able to keep up with everything going on with By Juju You For You and any other episodes of Let's Talk. And I'll post that in the chat as well. Those are all the announcements that I have at this time. Juju, back to you.
All righty then. Well, thank you, Mr. Jackson, and thank you, everyone. And when you said about Juneteenth, I do want to thank Mrs. Jones, Miss Annie Jones, for always being a supporter. We have been having this Juneteenth celebration for, this is our 4th year, and she has been a sponsor for the event all of those years. And so we thank you from the bottom of our heart for your support and, you know, for the support of all those others that are sponsors and vendors. And then I think the other thing I wanted to emphasize is that we are looking for someone who has been suffering, who has been delivered from a substance abuse problem. If you've had a substance abuse problem, or you know someone who's had one, and they have overcome that substance abuse problem, and they don't mind talking about it on our show, sharing it with others, because that is how other people overcome. So if you don't mind sharing that, please contact me, Ardeen Thomas, and let's see if we can get your story on Let's Talk. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I love each and every one of you. You are awesome. And yes, I want to encourage you, whatever situation you may be going through, it is never hopeless. It's never hopeless. So don't get to the point where you feel like I can't carry on, I can't go on. It's never hopeless. There's always hope, and there's always hope in Christ. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to say there's always hope in Jesus Christ. And like Mrs. Jones said, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So you just have to partner with God. And when you partner with God, like Miss Jones said, sometimes you may not, the first thing you do may not work out that well. But don't give up. Keep on going. Like I said, my mama used to always say, because she was just a clowner, but the thought was right. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed. So you know, most people say try again, but that wasn't, that wasn't good enough for her. But anyway, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You know I love you. I'll talk to you. I'll probably talk to you tonight, unless you finna go to sleep. But anyway, thank you. I am Juju. I am that mountain moving giant slayer. I'm walking by faith, y'all. I'm inspiring hope, and I'm showing love all along the way. And until next time, I wish each and every one of you much love and many blessings. Good night. Love you. Good night.